voice that likes you are one and the same. This is your Lord, and when you move, only for the cause of love, the heart of the one, and the voice that likes you will lead you on. There are two ways of looking and hearing. One is from me, apart from them. The other is us, the body of one, a unified self. In this there's no me, only us, the heart of the one, and the voice that likes you are one and the same. This is your Lord, and when you move, only for the cause of love, the heart of the one, and the voice that likes you will lead you on. Oh, goodness. So that's based on Thoughts of Awakening, which most of my new songs are these days. And I actually forget which Thought of Awakening it was. It was the one of a very recent one, 170, around 170 or somewhere like that. But wow, I just really loved that. And of course, the voice that likes you is Glen's phrase for the Holy Spirit. So this has become something I'm singing a lot these days. And thank you everybody for joining me. I want to share some of my contemplations from Thoughts of Awakening today, and also just one little song about July the 4th. And I'm going to share one of Glen's booklets today that I just found fascinating, that I shared in our Wednesday night class. But it speaks to, and if anybody's interested in Wednesday night classes, my our Course in Miracles class that Glen and I started a long time ago, let me know, Yolanda at yolanda.net. this week we looked at, well, it's actually chapter 16 in section 4. The section is called The Illusion and the Reality of Love. But what really struck me was this discussion on the special hate relationship and the special love relationship. And I had never really thought, I mean, I've read, you do it every, you read books over and over again, and something, will hit you. And I don't ever remember discussing this before, and even knowing that the Course talked about a special hate relationship is really super interesting to me. So, so that's what I wanted to do. But first, I will ring us in. Sacred mystery, Mother, Father, God, the voice that likes us, love that is all-encompassing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, as we welcome everything that comes to us today. As we co-create together this circle of unconditional love, which reflects your love for us and through us. Spirit, may you be moving through all of us today as we experience this time together, and may we hear what we need to hear, say what we need to say, and teach ourselves what we need to teach ourselves. Thank you for everything that we experience in this beautiful and crazy journey that we call life. Blessed be, and so it is. Oh goodness, y'all. So I'm just feeling a whole bunch of feelings today. Thank you, Melody. Your homily this morning really moved me, as I said, and just the permission, I guess, that I've been giving myself, and you reaffirmed this morning for me, Melody, to feel things, and to acknowledge when, just acknowledge it and let it be okay. I've spent so many years stuffing feelings down and hiding them and thinking that they're bad, and certainly suffering and grief and all that, I just, no. Yeah, no, I will not. I will not. And that's my baby boy. He's got a loud meow today. He's experiencing some feelings about me not letting him outside. And that's been a lesson for me too, as you've probably noticed. I talk about Jolie a lot. There goes my kitty. And it's just, there's just a lot going on over here in this multi-dimensional experience that I call Yolanda. Oh, well, first of all, let me just do my little ditty about the 4th of July. I might have told you this story. Oh, hi, Regis. Thanks for being here. I might have told you this story a long time, but I started in elementary school. Instead of saying the Pledge Allegiance to the flag, I would say Pledge Allegiance to myself. I would stand there because they would make us go out and say the Pledge Allegiance to the flag, and I was more like, I'd rather pledge allegiance to myself. So I certainly didn't have this song back in the elementary school, but I did write this actually for specifically for July the 4th. Although I remember that I played it earlier in the year in January, but I'm gonna share it again. So it goes: I pledge allegiance to myself. I pledge allegiance to myself. I pledge allegiance to my true self. I pledge allegiance to our collective self and my highest, yes, our highest state of being. And to the oneness for which I stand. And to the oneness for which I stand. And to the oneness for which I stand. One love, one power, one people, one world, with liberty and justice for us all. Because I love myself, I forgive myself, my life feels good, and I can have what I want. So I choose joy, and I choose peace for all beings, for all life. I pledge allegiance to myself. I pledge allegiance to my true self. I pledge allegiance to our collective self and our highest, yes, our highest state of being. I pledge allegiance to myself. Oh, there we go. Oh, goodness gracious. So, that's all I have to say about July, about July the 4th. A lot of feelings about that, but you know, it's all good. I'm learning and remembering who I am through letting the feelings happen. And that's my major lesson. My major lesson. So let me share. I wanted to share actually 3 contemplations from Thoughts of Awakening. And I'm going to start with 179 because that was actually last Sunday. And so, you know, I was preparing to go out of town to host a LGBTQAI Pride Festival and perform and everything, and it was up in New Hampshire, and I was trying to get everything done before I left. And the one thing I didn't do is inform Shauna that I wasn't gonna be here. I know, but it really, you know, when you texted me, it it was really powerful for me. So I wanted to share what came up, And so my commitment now is to really take everything that, we're working with in terms of sacred text or principles or whatever, take all of it and apply it as much as I can and as much as I can remember to everything in my day. That's really what I'm committed to right now. And so that was a really great day, and so I wanted to share that with you. So all right, here we go. And the thought of awakening for that day was 179, and it says, "What are you if you are not bad? What is life if it isn't fearful? You are perfect freedom, unbounded, limitless, and beyond imagination. Although imagination is included within the boundlessness of your freedom. Life is a word for what you are. Life is living and free without end." And so my contemplation was this: what am I if I am not bad? And what if life if it's not fearful? Well, these are truly great questions for me, and ones I'm seeing showing up in my life regularly. Many times I seem to think that it's safer to feel bad and have fearful panic attacks over every little thing than to trust all things work together for my good. What's happening is I'm simply seeing habits that I've gotten used to and am comfortable with. Even though I know these habits are not truth, I'm noticing the myriads of times they show up in my thinking throughout the day. If I make a mistake about anything, immediately waves of fear jump right in. So on my drive home last night from my weekend gig, I started to beat myself up for not preparing Shauna for my weekend departure. The habits of fear and feeling bad about myself came flooding in. But instead of letting them take me down, I decided to move on to freedom. Freedom! The I am bad belief was saying, you should apologize more. You just send Shauna a whole bunch of texts like begging forgiveness and, create, sorrow and shame. Like, I'm so sorry. Make sure everybody still likes you. And then I went, my God, what foolishness. Those may be feelings that are running through my mind, but I'm not going to follow their advice. I'm going to see the perfection and unlimited, boundless freedom that is me, as reflected in the breathtaking white mountains of New Hampshire as I drive through them in all their magnificence. Am I going to sit in this car while witnessing such great and expansive beauty and not even notice? You know how you can do that, right? You're like driving or whatever, and your mind is doing all this stuff. And I caught myself, and I'm like, this is incredibly beautiful. Why in the world am I missing this by entertaining, hateful thoughts about myself? So do I really want to exchange the beauty of this very moment for a habit of panic and fear that I have definitely outgrown? No way. So I talked to my feelings, and I said, I realize that as a child, you were a protective and necessary function for my survival. But I am not that child anymore. I am not bad, and there is no punishment waiting. I love you, even when you're afraid. My imagination is included in my boundless freedom. So, Instead of imagining punishment, I began to imagine flying through these amazing natural wonders called the White Mountains. It was so fun to switch to feeling free like a bird instead of heavy like a stone. Life is for living, not getting caught in the trap of complaining, feeling bad about myself, and panicking. Life is complete freedom eternally, like the freedom I feel when looking at the mountains or the pink and blue sunset at my property when arriving home. Life is the joy of my cats running up to me, rubbing their sweet faces all over my legs. Life is the joy of seeing a full moon in the starry sky and the glorious fireflies and frogs that make my summer nights magical. I love myself, and my life feels good. Blessed be. Wow. So thank you, Shauna, for your contribution to my contemplation that day. Oh, and as I'm sharing things and everything, I invite you, if you feel so moved or have anything you would like to share in response, to unmute and do so. When I'm sharing these things I've written, I'm on another page, so I can't necessarily see your hand. But feel free, to do that.
Yeah, I would like to say something, please.
Oh, yay, please.
Thank you, Yolanda. That is just beautiful. And, it really highlights the insanity of sitting and listening to that blah, 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 all that conditioning. And, even after we've worked through it, we can slip into unconsciousness and fall into believing all of that again
Yeah.
if we don't stay vigilant. So, and
Mm-hmm.
your pictures, you just really painted pictures for me. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for your comments. It's really true, isn't it? It's like, you know, you work through it, you forgive yourself, you let it go, and then it's wants to come back and harass, and it's like, wow, this is just insanity. My days are beautiful if I allow them to be, you know. So, yay. Thanks, Melody. Oh, okay. And so, as a contrast, or an interesting, I thought, thing to do is to share today's thought of awakening and what I had to say today, a week apart. So, what Spirit showed me a week apart. So, today we were looking at 185. Let me look at that. And that said, so 185 says, this was fascinating to me. One can live within the story while being aware of reality. This is what is meant by awakened. One who is awakened does not fear, because that one knows what he looks upon and lives within. To hold to the story as true is not to awaken. To awaken, one must be willing to let go of all appearances as not true. Okay, so if you know anything about me, I love TV and movies and things like that. That's why I've taken on the head of the movie committee. We're going to start movie night back up soon. But anyway, so this is how it landed for me today. In the same way that I can watch a TV show and know it isn't the world of my daily experience, so can I live within the story of my daily experience while being aware of reality, capital R. I know what my power is. I know where my power is. Awareness is the place where that knowledge of power resides. The totality of what is real unfolds entirely within the boundless field of my/our awareness. So is anything objectively real? This is a question that I like to bat about, but I'm not going to go into it right now. Awareness allows a reality that is beyond and includes the dramedy of my everyday life. Awareness allows a reality that is beyond panic. Awareness allows a noticing of the calm presence always alive within me, guiding and showing the way forward, even when I put up a fuss. Because I'm looking at a story here in this three-dimensional reality, there is nothing to fear. Fear dissipates when I allow myself to notice the calm presence always alive within me and allow it to lead me onward. So, I bring everything into the light of awareness so I can know what I'm looking at. Okay. Now what? Well, I notice the loop of experience. What I think I see. What I see, I experience. What I experience, I think. And the loop starts again. And I notice the meaning I assign to the story and then interrupt the story. Is there a different meaning rather than the one I've already assigned to it? Then I shift my focus to the loving kindness that I want to give and receive. And I change the input going into my mind by limiting the amount of stressful media or environments that program my unconscious filters. In these ways, I can notice that truth is always standing right next to illusion. Love is always standing right next to fear. There is always a choice. What I focus on is what I see. And there is no judgment either way. Today, which actually was yesterday, today was a day where the appearances that occurred were joyful to me, although many of them were not to my liking. And that was a wow, a visceral realization. Appearances that were not to my liking, I decided to look joyfully upon. They were joyful because I focused on joy instead of what I didn't like. And I discovered that I can experience joy smack dab in the middle of feeling uncomfortable. That's cool. I like that. Blessed be. Actually, I want to go ahead and start looking at Glen's booklet. He always starts with images. And this one is one of parasailing. I guess that's parasailing. He'll tell us down at the bottom. And there's another one of a covered bridge. Oh, hang gliders. Okay, so the first one was hang gliders. I want to say something about hang gliders. My mom was one of the coolest people on earth, I think. And she had breast cancer twice, and she beat it both times, so she didn't die of breast cancer. But after the second time she had breast cancer, she was living in Florida, she went hang gliding. And she was already in her 70s. I was like, yes! So, anyway, I did a little thing about hang gliding. And actually, I'm turning 70 in August, and I'm feeling the pull to going tandem skydiving. So we'll see. We'll see if that occurs. That's really kind of what I want to do. But anyway, so Glen comments on the images, and to me, they're explanations of the lesson 2 summaries. So he says, often we get bogged down on managing too many things. This is a version of the control strategy that the ego is so fond of using. We need a larger perspective. The view from above is where we can see the solutions and the interconnected nature of our problems and the structures that create them. Getting above the clouds is necessary to see a way out. When we're in the middle of our drama, we feel like we're fighting something real, but we're actually trying to make an illusion real, which is why we're upset. And I continually find that over and over. I'm trying to make an illusion real. Good and evil, truth and illusion are not equal. One doesn't exist, and the other is reliable. Getting above the fray allows us to see the bridge to where we want to be and what we want to experience. We don't do this alone, but we make the decision to value truth and our own goodness above our need to fight evil and resist the temptation to engage with illusions. So I love that phrase, the decision to value truth above our need to fight evil. Oh, so let me stop that share. All right. And so we are in chapter 16. Section 4. The Illusion and Reality of Love. I mean, if you happen to have your book and you want to read along, but they're only highlighted sections. So it starts out with, be not afraid to look upon the special hate relationship, for freedom lies in looking at it. That blew my mind right there. You cannot limit hate. The special love relationship will not offset it, but will merely drive it underground and out of sight. So either special love or special hate does no good. It's merely an illusion, both of them. It is essential to bring it into sight and to make no attempt to hide it. For it is the attempt to balance hate with love that makes love meaningless to you. The extent of the split that lies in this you do not realize. And until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. And that's what I think is really going on here and why so much emotion is happening. Well, lots of reason. But I'm recognizing this split. Glen's comments here are, too often we define ourselves by what we're not. We define ourselves by what we're against and what we don't want, and I slip into that so easily. We hide our own self-hatred in these things. We're actually fighting our own beliefs. The belief that evil and violence is real and able to overcome good. Looking inward at these beliefs is how we can prove they are not true. And his first question for us is, what are you fighting against? What are you fighting against? Wow. Oh, thanks, Regis. Thanks, Regis, for putting that in the chat. Well, depending on the day I ask myself that question, it seems that I like to fight against my own peace of mind. It's really crazy, but as I said in my Thoughts of Awakening, there's some habit or addiction to being panicked and thinking all of that is safer. And what a crazy, insane notion that is, right? So, so there's that. So the Course goes on to say the symbols of hate against the symbols of love play out a conflict that does not exist. You will go through this last undoing quite unharmed and will at last emerge as yourself. This is the last step in the readiness for God. Be not unwilling now. You are too near, and you will cross the bridge in perfect safety. Translated quietly from war to peace. For the illusion of love will never satisfy, but its reality, which awaits you on the other side, will give you everything. And for me, the reality of love is embracing everything, just letting it be as it is. So Glen says here, there is no battle between good and evil. There is only the choice you make about where you're going to focus your attention. There is only the choice you make about where you're going to focus your attention. The attention first needs to go where we think love doesn't exist. And something, I've discovered that so deep within me. Maybe it's I have a sense that before I came into this life, there was something, that I wanted to work on in this life. And it's coming to my noticing that it's something around feeling alone and friendless. And of course, the Course addresses that in the introduction to the work, but you are not alone and friendless, But for me, that's something core that I'm working with throughout my life. So the attention first needs to go where we think love doesn't exist. And exposing these well-kept delusions is the last thing we do before we realize fighting and attacking what we don't want doesn't work. And Glen's question here for us is, where does evil still exist? Well, the only place it can exist is in my thinking. Because the rest of it is just life living itself however it does. And of course, if I have time later, one of my favorite things to say to myself these days is life cannot be controlled. Which is also a thought of awakening, which is very, very, all of these thoughts of awakening are penetrating me in a real way this year. So, okay. So the Course goes on to say the special love relationship is an attempt to limit the destructive effects of hate by finding a haven in the storm of guilt. It makes no attempt to rise above the storm into the sunlight. The special love relationship is not perceived as a value in itself, but as a place of safety from which hatred is split off and kept apart. The special love partner is acceptable only as long as he serves this purpose, somewhere where I can escape from the hate that I think is real. Hatred can enter and indeed is welcome in some aspects of the special love relationship, but it is still held together by the illusion of love. If the illusion goes, the relationship is broken or becomes unsatisfying on the grounds of disillusionment. I have had that experience in special love relationships. You know, it works until I'm disillusioned, and then so Glen's comment here is the special love relationship is one of loving to hate someone or an idea. Wow. It's also our self-righteousness. And it can justify our attacks on the world and others. It can also serve as the glue that holds together other relationships. Question: do we have relationships based on shared hatred? I see that happening. I see that happening in the world in which we live, and I've certainly seen that in my own life. I don't know if anyone else has a comment on that, but I thought that was really an interesting question. Do we have relationships based on shared hatred? So the Course goes on to say, love is not an illusion, it is a fact. Where disillusionment is possible, there was not love but hate, for hate is an illusion, and what can change was never love. There are no triumphs of love, only hate is at all concerned with the triumph of love. The illusion of love can triumph over the illusion of hate, but always at the price of making both illusions. As long as the illusion of hatred lasts, so long will love be an illusion to you. And then the only choice remaining possible is which illusion you prefer. There is no conflict in the choice between truth and illusion, but conflict enters the instant the choice seems to be one between illusions. So Glen, talking about special relationships here, says, when we ask others to keep evil away, to make us safe, or to tell us that we are good, we are reinforcing the idea that evil is real and can harm us. We strengthen the foundations of self-hatred in ourselves and make it the task of others to prove us wrong. Sharing our self-love is the abundant power of sharing the truth with others. And the question is, what of ourselves are we sharing with others? Wow. What of ourselves are we sharing with others? That is one thing that, we do really well here in this sanctuary, is just share the truth of where we are with each other. It's incredibly powerful. Yeah. What of ourselves are we sharing with others? Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Recognize this, for it is true. The special love relationship is an attempt to bring love into fear and make it real in fear. It is essential that we look very closely at exactly what it is you think you can do to solve the dilemma which seems very real to you, but which does not exist. The insanity of it all. You have come close to truth, and only this stands between you and the bridge that leads you into it. So Glen's comments here, we must begin to seek out what is upsetting us, and that is really, yes. What is upsetting us? That is really worth looking at. What disturbs us and what we don't like about ourselves. We must begin to dismantle the normalized hating and negative self-talk that can happen, it must be examined. And Regis mentioned the other night, Glen doesn't usually use words like, you must do this or this must happen. So this was incredibly important to him, and I saw him do this in real time. Dismantle the normalized hating and negative self-talk. I saw him do that in real time, and I was confused by it. But it must be examined, he says. It must be seen and brought to the light, and we must own these experiences. Question: where do you look for love? Oh, goodness. And we were singing, looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking at love in too many faces, too many faces, too many faces. Oh, gosh. Our lives and loves and passions, this is Glen talking, our lives and loves and passions and lessons aren't going anywhere. We can take as long as we like to do what is ours to do, but we're only putting off our happiness and self-fulfillment, which is fine if we want to do that. As Abraham Hicks says, we'll never get it done, but we can't get it wrong. To practice seeing the obstacles of special love and special hate is a lifestyle of noticing our unique ways of thinking and behaving. Chasing down what is wrong with the world and others is a great distraction. I'm giving it up. It only delays our goals. Question: what do we use our relationships to experience? What do we use our relationships to experience? Wow, I spent a lot of times in relationships. And I mean, not even like necessarily, intimate love relationship, that kind of love relationship, but in special hatred, really pointing out how other people are wrong and their opinions are wrong and what they're saying is wrong and all that kind of stuff. I've spent a lot of time doing that. That's not a healing position to take. It really has not been helpful. But it has been so deep ingrained in conversations. And what I've been noticing is, what are the conversations I'm having with myself? Like when I was, driving back from New Hampshire, and that's why that was so important to me. What is the conversation I'm having with myself right now? Do I really want to do this to myself? No. Okay. I'm going to share the last highlighted portion and Glen's last comment. This is from Course in Miracles. Every illusion you accept into your mind by judging it to be attainable removes your own sense of completion and thus denies the wholeness of your Father. Every fantasy, be it of love or hate, deprives you of knowledge, for fantasies are the veil beneath which truth is hidden. Fantasies are the veil behind which truth is hidden. To lift the veil that seems so dark and heavy, it is only needful to value truth beyond all fantasy, and to be entirely unwilling to settle for illusion in place of truth. Yes, my commitment to myself. Value truth beyond all fantasy, and to be entirely unwilling to settle for illusion in place of truth. Glen says, acting on what is true is how we can help others and how others can help us. This action takes us into a different world. One where truth works and doesn't need to be defended. Our communities can be an expression of this, or a mob thinking bent on destruction. This action of continually looking within at what upsets and frightens us is the way of self-knowledge. We are uncovering the illusion we have of ourselves, humanity, and the world. Our completion, the knowledge of ourselves as children of the oneness, is through those actions. Question: what world do you want to settle for? Wow, uncovering these illusions is fascinating to me. What world do I want to settle for? Wow. So I'm going to leave it right there because I like that question. And the knowledge of ourselves as the children of the oneness, that's the world. That's the world I want to be in. And that is my prayer for myself and for you and for humanity. The knowledge of the oneness. And the living of the oneness through us. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to share a song to close us out based on... Boy, am I digging these Thoughts of Awakening, aren't I? And Spirit has just given me so many songs. So, oh, by the way, I'm actually at this moment recording my next song from Thought of Awakening. It's Thought of Awakening number 15, and I'm calling it I Am Willing. So it's the Thought of Awakening that talks about willingness is my strength, and willingness is everything. And in there it says, I am willing to be loved, to love and be loved in return. So that's what I'm recording on right now, and I'm doing it as like a 50s sort of, you know, like the song Unchained Melody, you know that song? Like, kind of like that. So I'm really excited about sharing that with you when it comes up. I know I really, really love that song. So here's my blues number. Life cannot be controlled. Life cannot be controlled. Life cannot be controlled. And it doesn't need to be, 'cause life holds everything perfectly. Oh yeah. All right. Don't you know that God is? God is. Don't you know that life is? Life is. One seems to come from the other, and yet the two are twin brothers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Life is, I see that it is, I love that it is, and that leads me to the source. And when I see the gift that is me, the love that I see, is what I've been dreaming of. Love is all I'm made of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Life cannot be controlled. Life cannot be controlled. Who can put a hand on life and put it in a chokehold? No, 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 no. Life is, I see that it is, I love that it is, and that leads me to the source. And when I see the gift that is me, the love that I see is all that I'm made of. Yeah, I said, love is all I'm made of. Yeah. Well, life cannot be controlled. Life cannot be controlled. And it doesn't need to be, 'cause life holds everything perfectly. Yeah. Woo! All right, my friends. Life cannot be controlled. Because life holds everything perfectly. We can't break life. We can't break God. We can't break love. It holds it all. Yes! What a joy! Oh, we're at 6 o'clock. So, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate it. Listen to the voice that likes you. She will tell you we are one, and she will tell you how to act like it. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Marie. Thanks for being here. Okay, Shauna.